Hey everyone, this is Dhruvin and I welcome you all to my new Power BI Embedded step-by-step series. You are watching 7th part of this series, and in this session we are going to talk about how we can embed Power BI reports with Service Principal using ASP.NET SDK. So now let's get started. In our earlier session, we have registered our Power BI application into Azure AD. We have registered our application for Service Principal as an authentication mechanism. So now let's get started with the next step that we need to perform in order to embed our Power BI report into our custom .NET solution. So let's get started. So first of all, what we need to do here is I just wanted to remind you one thing, that in our earlier session we have noted down this client secret, service principal, app ID and tenant ID. So make sure that you visited my earlier videos. Links are always down below in the description box. Now in this session, first of all, we are going to create a fresh workspace. For that, let me just open up my Power BI service account over here. So I just opened my Power BI service using app.powerbi.com. Now we are going to use our service principal over here. Now let's create a fresh workspace first. I assume that you have a fresh tenant and you are establishing everything from the scratch. So first of all, we are going to create new workspace. To create the new workspace, just click on workspaces and click on create workspace, and let's give the name of our workspace. So I'm just giving my workspace name as PBI Embedded 2021. Now here I just added a description that this workspace is used for app owns data concept with service principal. And now let's create our workspace. So my workspace has been created successfully. Now I need to add my service principal into this workspace. Now what do we mean by service principal? I explained that in my previous video. It is the name of your Azure AD app. So this is the name of my Azure AD app. And this is the same thing that we have noted down in our notepad. So this is my service principal name. So we just need to copy this service principal from here, and we just need to add our service principal in a workspace. So we just need to go here and just click on access section, and now we just need to add our service principal. Once you paste your service principal, it will show the suggestion for that service principal, and with that it is also showing you the app ID for your service principal. So let's add our service principal over here. You can give any role over here. So I'm just giving the role as admin at this moment. You can also keep that as a member. And now let's add that service principal over here. So my service principal has been added to this workspace. Now we need to publish any report into this workspace, and then we are going to embed that report into our custom.NET solution. Now one more important thing. I am going to provide you the sample Power BI file as well as the entire code solution file to my GitHub repository. You can go through that and download that for your more practice. I am also going to show you the steps to download the solution from GitHub and how to start with that. One more important thing, I have downloaded this entire code sample from official Microsoft GitHub repository. I have downloaded that and uploaded to my own GitHub repository by modifying few things over there. So you can directly download that from official Microsoft GitHub repository or the link that I am going to provide in the description box. I am going to provide both the link in the description box, so make sure that you check that. Now, one more important thing. During the third part of this series, I told you one thing, that you need to enable one feature from your Power BI Service Administrator. So make sure that you've enabled that feature, and for that just make sure go to the setting option and then just open your admin center. So just click on admin center from here, and now just go to the tenant setting, and here we have a developer option available. So just go to your developer option and make sure that you enable allow service principal to use Power BI APIs. So make sure that this feature is enabled. And sometime if feature is disabled, and if you turn on at this moment, then it will take some time in order to activate that feature in your tenant. So make sure about that thing. So hope you have completed and gone through all the prerequisites and creating Power BI workspace and added your Power BI service principal over here. Now we need to publish our report into this workspace. Now let me show you the GitHub repository that I am going to provide you over here. So let me just open up that. So actually I am going to provide you the link for my GitHub repository. Here I have different repository available on my GitHub account, and here is the series, that is Power BI Embedded ASP.NET. Now from here what you need to do here is you just need to download this entire zip file. So download this entire zip file. Here I have separate folders, like one is for app owns data concept, second one is for user owned data concept, and this is some sample Power BI file. So make sure that you download this entire folder so you will have all the code handy. Now what we need to do here is let's just go to this folder in the downloads. So this is the downloaded folder, and now let's just extract this folder. So I'm extracting this folder. The folder has been extracted successfully. Now here I have my sample Power BI file. So first of all, let's publish this file to our Power BI service. You can simply open this Power BI report file and publish to the workspace that we just created. So now let me just publish this report to this workspace. I'm just using get data option, and I'm just uploading that PBX file in order to quick publish, but you can follow your best practices. So this is the file folder that we just extracted, and this is our folder sample Power BI file, and this is one report that I am going to upload here. And I just uploaded that Power BI file, and the report has been published successfully. So this is my Power BI report, right? So we published Power BI report. Now what we want to do here is we want to embed this Power BI report into our custom .NET solution. So now let's check that procedure in detail over there. So now hope you already downloaded the GitHub repository. So let me just go to the download folder, and in download folder we have a folder named app owns data concept. So just click on that, and here we are going to use service principal as the authentication mechanism. So you just need to you just need to click on that, and here you will be having the entire solution available. Now what you need to do here is let's just copy this folder authenticate service principal, and let's paste to any of the hard drive. Now let me just open up this solution. So I'm double clicking on it to open up my solution. So make sure that you have Visual Studio installed in your machine. So at this moment I am going to use Visual Studio 2019 for this solution. Now just click on OK, and that will load your solution, and it is preparing your solution first. So the solution is loaded successfully here. Now the very first step you need to do here is you just need to build your solution. So just go to the build menu, and let's click on rebuild solution. So let's build our solution. So rebuilding is started, and let it to be completed. And here we are. The rebuild process has been completed successfully. Now we need to check one more important thing. You just need to go to the Solution Explorer, and you just need to check the references over there. So just expand the references and make sure that you do not have any errors over here. So right now I do not have any errors over here. One more important thing, you just need to check your packages as well. So you just need to click on your package config and make sure that you do not have any errors in your package.config file as well. Sometimes if your package file throws any error, or let's say in your references you find some error, then you need to follow one resolution step over here. Make sure that if your solution is giving you an error, only at that time you need to follow the step, otherwise we are good for this particular step. So let's say if my solution is throwing me some error that my package is older version, then what I need to do here is I need to go to the tools menu. Then I just need to go to the NuGet package manager, and then I just need to click on manage NuGet packages for solution. So let's click on that. So that will open NuGet solution for me. Now what you need to do here is you need to click on update section, and let's say for an example here at this moment it is showing me 5 different APIs to me. So we just need to select any API over here and we just need to click on update. So that will update my NuGet package for this particular solution. So if your solution is throwing you error, only at that time follow this step, otherwise we are good for that, right? So at this moment I am not doing anything here and we are good for that. Now let me explain you the things that we need to change into this code file. So this is the official solution which is available on Microsoft GitHub as well. So I did not make much changes over here, but I am going to explain you how to explore this solution. So very first step that you need to do is you just need to open your Web.Config file and then you need to make minor corrections over here into this file. So first thing is that you need to provide authentication type over here. So you have a key authentication type and its value is service principal. The reason why the value is service principal is we are using service principal as authentication mechanism over here. Second thing that we need to configure here is application ID. So this is the same thing that we have copied from our earlier session, that is our app ID. So we just need to copy our app ID and we just need to provide that app ID value over here. So let's paste that value. Similar way, we need to provide the workspace ID and report ID. Now, from where I can find the workspace ID, let me show you that thing to you. So let's open the Power BI report that we just published. Now let me just zoom in a little bit. And now here you can see this particular URL. So in this URL, after groups, you will be having some ID available. So that is your workspace ID. So let's copy that workspace ID first. And let's paste that workspace ID inside our solution. And now I am pasting my workspace ID over here. So workspace ID is something which I pasted. Now similar way I need report ID. So I'm just going here and now let's copy the reports ID. So in the same URL after reports we will be finding our report ID. So let's copy this entire ID. So that will become our report ID. And let's go again to the Visual Studio solution. And now here we need to provide our report ID. So let's paste that value over here, right? So we are good. Just scroll down a little bit and here we have a Power BI username and password. We do not need to provide this thing over here. The reason is that in service principal approach, we do not need to provide any credential information. We just need to provide the client secret and based on that, it will authenticate our app. Now, here we need to provide the application secret. So that is something that we already copied from our Azure portal. So from here, you will be finding the client secret. So let's copy that and paste that. This information is something that we have discussed in the 6th part of this series. So make sure that you check. Similar way, let's copy the tenant ID and let's paste it over here, right? So hope so far you are good with me. We have made this many of changes. We have added authentication type, that is service principal, application ID from Azure portal, workspace ID and report ID that I have already shown you. Then we provided application secret and tenant ID, right? So far we are good. Now what we need to do here is we just need to run this solution and the report will be embedded successfully into your custom application. Now let me show you that thing to you first. So for that, let's run your application. So just click on your IIS Express or Google Chrome. So let's run this solution. After the successful run of this solution, I will explain you the each individual code that is being used into this solution. So you will be getting some better idea about the code solution. So I am just pressing F5 and let's see if the report will embed successfully over here and not. And here we are. Our report has been embedded successfully into our custom .NET solution, right? Now let's try to understand each individual thing in detail and the code parts in detail. So first of all, let me just stop the debugging from here and let me just give you the overall idea about the solution that has been structured over here. So first of all, we are going to use ASP.NET SDK for this embedding solution, and we have used MVC structure over here. Now let me talk about the code structure files in detail over here. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So first of all, this is my solution. The name is apps on data. Now this is the MVC solution. So we have models, view and controllers, right? Now first of all, let me expand you the controller. So the first call is going to happen in home controller.cs file, right? Similar way, we have different views available. Let's just expand the home view and shared views. So here we have embed report.cshtml that is responsible for the user interface that we are able to see at this moment on my output. So this is the embed report.cshtml. Similar way, we have some JavaScript files added into scripts folder, which is powerbi.js, powerbi.js.map, and powerbi.mean.js. So these files are something which has been added just because we have added the NuGet package for Power BI APIs. Right? Now we need to start debugging our code from the controller because I believe that you have some basic idea about the MVC architecture. So let's just open up my home controller and let's place some debug point and let's debug this entire solution for our better understanding. So here in the home controller, the first method is home controller. Then the second method is index method that will be called, and then your embed report method will be called, right? Now let's debug that and let's go one by one step, and I will also show you the authentication procedure as well, that how it authenticates this thing in detail. Now let's debug our solution so we will be getting better idea. So let's just run our solution. So first of all, what it will do is it will go to the home controller because this is the first method that is being called. Now you need to press F11 keys. Now this configuration validator is something which is one class file. So let's just press F11. So we will be getting over there. Now it will just check if our solution has any errors or not. So let's press F10 and let's check. So it just gone from here, and now it is just returning a message that is null, right? After that, let's press F10 and then our embed report method will be called. Now error message is not equal to null, then it is going to try block, and now it is calling embed service method, and from that it is calling a method get embed parameters, and in which it is passing workspace id and report id. So workspace id and report id is something that is coming from the configuration validator service. Now we just need to press F11, and here you will be seeing that this is workspace id and report id. Then we just need to press F10 and press F11. Then it will call this method, that is get Power BI client. So this method are something which is using .NET SDK. So these are the DLL methods. Now we just need to click on F11, and now here you will be seeing the method Power BI client, and first of all it is asking for the token credentials. Let's press F10 and then F11. So it will go to this method get access token, that is aad service.cs. It is calling this method. Now if we just go here, by default its value is none, and let's just pass this thing. So authentication mechanism is not master user, so it will go to the else part here, and then it will just find out the client app, and here we will be getting our authentication result. So in authentication result we will be finding this many of values over here. So you can see here, here I got my access token. So from here it is passing that access token. So let's go here it provides me the access token. Now let's press F11, and then it will come again here. Then it is calling Power BI report method. So first of all, it will find workspace ID and report ID to get the report information. So you just need to press F11, dataset information, and here one report data for embedding is provided here. So it is just initializing one variable, and in that variable report ID, report name, and embed URL is being prepared. So let's just click on yes. So you can see that in embed reports we would be having this type of structure available: embed URL, report ID, and report name. Now it is providing the embedded token. So get embedded token for multiple resources. Now let's press F11. So it will again call the Power BI client. So let's press F10. Then it will just having that token request, and embed token will be passed from here. So this is the embed token, and now press F10 and you will be finding your embedded parameters over here. Then you just need to pass this entire parameter to your view, because as per the MVC architecture we need to provide this the return result to our view. So it is providing that return result to my view. So now let's click on F11, and now it has called my shared view over here, and now this is the view, that is embed report.cshtml, and everything will be called from here, and it is just providing the value for access token, embed URL, embed report ID, everything over here, and at last it is rendering the body. And now let's press F5, and this is how our report has been embedded successfully to our browser. So I explained you the procedure for debugging this code, right? Now let me talk about few more things. So at this moment, what we have done is we've just placed some debug point. We tried to debug the things from our solution and just embedded our report. Similar way, you can embed the dashboard as well as tile, right? So we are not going to focus more on that part, but this is how this embedding thing will work. This is the basic concept, right? Now this is one basic embedding that we have done with the service principal using ASP.NET solution. Hope this is clear for you now. Here you can achieve so many other things as well. So for that, what you need to do here is you just need to simply debug the solution, and you just need to find out which are the methods that are available for the .NET solution or .NET SDK, and based on that you can just simply create your methods over here and just prepare the solution that you wish to desire, right? So if you have any question related to this topic, you can add your question in the comment section. Now in my next session we are going to embed our Power BI report with master username and password using ASP.NET SDK, and we will be checking out some more capabilities of Power BI embedded with this authentication mechanism. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe and press the bell notification to never miss any updates from my channel. Stay connected with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Also, if you wish to receive the daily notification about all my new videos on your WhatsApp number, click on this link. It will be redirecting you to this form. Fill the form and you will be receiving daily notification about all my new videos on your WhatsApp number. Also, if you wish to listen different Power Platform related podcast, just click on this link. It will be redirecting you to my podcast homepage. From here, you can listen your favorite Power Platform related podcast on your favorite podcast platform like Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and much more. This is Dhruvin signing off. See you in the next session. Have a great day. Goodbye.